My lords, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Sir Thomas Beecham. We are conscious of the honour he is doing us in consenting to declare this building dedicated to music open. When this gracious ceremony is concluded, I would invite you to tour the building and share in the fulfilment of our architect's musical ideals. I would ask the artists with us today, also our valued public, to visit the artist green room on this floor, to visit our new private recording studio on the first floor and cement the occasion by making a record, to visit the household appliances department on the lower ground floor and watch the latest scientific products for ice cream making in operation. Last but not least, to visit the buffet on the second floor and drink our health for the future. Sir Thomas, I would ask you, at the termination of your speech, to press the button of this radio-operated instrument, which will immediately control the current in this all-electric building for making audible not only radio, but the recorded music of the great His Master's Voice Library. The fact that Sir Thomas Beecham is here today to open our new showroom is, to my mind, the most appropriate gesture that could possibly accompany such a function. In the same way that Sir Thomas gives to the interpretation of music that livingness that places his handling of the art in a class by itself, so have we and our architects tried in this new building to interpret the presentation of those things that give pleasure and leisure in the home. It is therefore with pride as well as with pleasure that I ask Sir Thomas to declare this new building open, so setting the seal upon the beginnings of an enterprise. Sir Thomas, I would ask you, at the conclusion of your speech, to press the button of this radio control box, which will immediately switch on the current in this all-electric building for making audible not only radio, but the recorded music of the great His Master's Voice Library. Now, will you hold it? Will you hold it? Only don't press until you finish.
Don't press until I finish.
Don't press until you finish.
And then I press
Yes.
this.
Yes.
And then what do I do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing underneath the box.
It's decoration.
Just decoration. But that's the button to press. When you
this?
Yes. Don't press it now.
No.
No.
Then I say nothing more. To an orator of a modest mind. Let me begin by saying, from a purely personal point of view, it's a very great pleasure for me to be here. My long association with one of the companies, at least the Columbia Company, has been a period of unbroken pleasantness and agreeableness from every point of view, so far as I am concerned. I don't know what the opposite number has to say about it. Perhaps it will find itself unable to express itself with the same, let's say, freedom of utterance. I say personal point of view because I think it is generally known that I am perhaps the most determined, I won't say antagonist, but critic of all mechanical devices. To me, mechanism is a kind of gorgon, or monstrum horribile, as the Latins said, something to be regarded with suspicion and often with horror. I may say that the bulk of music, whether mechanical or living, has the same place in my affections. Therefore, I'm not quite sure that from the larger point of view, I am the right person to have chosen for this occasion. I remember during the war, I used to pray daily and nightly for the destruction of two conspicuous and historic buildings in London. One was the Royal Albert Hall, and one was the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden. Well, my feelings towards the Albert Hall have abated in some way, have been mitigated, but only by the circumstance that I play so rarely in it. They have, if anything, been aggravated and increased by Covent Garden. When I heard about the destruction of this establishment, it was with mixed feelings. That the information reached me. I thought, good gracious, here at one blow, so to speak, is removed from the world the musical ill deeds of thousands of people. Think of it, a grand holocaust of iniquity. Here is the hand of God, if nowhere else. As our great national poet said, the evil that men do lives after them. And in this grand aggregate of records, which are intended, I believe, for posterity. Well, the next day I rang up and I said, is it really true that all this wealth of evil has been destroyed forever? And they said, oh, not at all. No earthly chance of it. Of course, I'm not referring to those records that I've made myself or I didn't inquire about those. I assumed that some special protection had been provided. I was thinking mostly of all the other orchestras and conductors that have from time to time desecrated the sacred atmosphere of the studio. Well, I was assured, ladies and gentlemen, that it was proposed to restore everything as far as it was possible to do so, until I'm switched on or off to its rival, if at the same time friendly rival and companion HMV. I don't know which is to be my destiny in the future. Anyway, I look forward to another 20-odd years of association, an equally pleasant association. And I hope also, during that period of time, to see around me all the faces that have grown familiar, if I may take the liberty of saying so, dear to me in this world of recording. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have first to congratulate you all upon this happy event. A very happy event, I think, in spite of the few mitigating conditions that I have alleged against it. And in respect of this building, which has arisen like a phoenix from its ashes, to renew all that questionable activity that has witnessed it during the last 20-odd years, in respect to this building, I say that I have very great pleasure in declaring it to be open for you and for the public, the musical public, and for the outer world at large.